Lance Roberts here with 3 minutes on Markets and Money, the virus edition, talking about today about the spread of the coronavirus. We've talked about this over the last several weeks in the newsletter as that the estimate of what was going to happen from the coronavirus in terms of both spread, duration, and global impact has been underestimated by the market. And the reason that the market was rallying here was not really so much because of the impact of the virus itself, but on expectations that the Fed was going to continue to supply liquidity, which would offset the virus. We said that really wasn't going to be the case because the impact of the global supply chain is something that cutting rates and doing Fed repo wasn't really going to offset a lot. We're seeing that show up today in particular as the virus is now spreading to other countries. We're seeing impacts to countries like South Korea, which is a major exporter to the U.S. of product and services. And also remember that we also import and export to other countries, and exports make up about 40% of corporate profitability. So the impact to the coronavirus is now starting to get recognized by markets. The markets are trading lower today, and we're going to see a retest of this 50-day moving average most likely today. The question is going to be whether or not the markets can hold on to that support. Now, immediately what people are going to start expecting is that the Fed is going to announce that they're going to start cutting rates here sooner than later, start making some comments about how the concern over the global economic environment warrants cutting rates. Look for some of those comments out either today or even tomorrow about potential move by the Federal Reserve to either supply more liquidity through increasing repos past April or to start talking about the commentary of cutting rates. And right now, futures are expecting at least one rate cut this year, but even futures now are pointing to the fact that we may see up to 3 rate cuts in 2020 alone. And that's certainly not really that beneficial to either the economy or to markets. That's suggesting that there's something really much more ominous kind of going on with the global impact. Pay attention here because as we start looking at some of the other major players, this market's been driven by the fact that we're seeing much weaker breadth in the overall market. We've had major leaders really driving a big chunk of the returns this year. Google was one of the big leaders. It's now correcting. Amazon, of course, had a very big spike here after earnings announcements. That's got a long way to pull back here before it even gets to previous support. Apple also is one of the companies that's going to be most impacted potentially by a shutdown of the global supply chain. Really still kind of confined within this topping pattern that's been in, but a break of the 50-day moving average by Apple is going to suggest a weaker move lower. Of course, the big beneficiaries of all this has been gold, which has had a tremendous run breaking out to new highs here, as well as interest rates dropping and bonds moving up in price. Both of those are very extended short term, and they're going to get more extended over the course of the next day or so. What we'll probably see here is a rally back in stocks over the next couple of days. Again, after today, don't be surprised that we see a bit of recovery maybe later on this afternoon and a move higher over the next couple of days as markets try to reassess the impact of this and what the Fed's going to do. Use that rally in stocks, wherever we get to, use that rally in stocks to rebalance risk in portfolios. It's very likely that this impact to the economy is going to occur. Prices are already well detached from underlying earnings growth, which is going to slow down even more as this global supply impact really starts to settle in. So pay attention to what you're doing with your money, manage your risk, and get by our website, realinvestmentadvice.com, and let us know if you have any questions. That's 3 minutes on Markets and Money. I'm your host, Lance Roberts. We'll see you next time.